Every man should know how to fight. Every man should know how to fight, because one day you are 100% destined to get into a fist fight, or just any fight of any sort. Some junkie might come up to you when you're with your mom, and one day you with your mate could be at a club and some drunk guy starts shit talking you and you genuinely need to throw some fists. That situation will one day come when you least expect it. So today I didn't expect to wrestle anyone, so I was at school on the football pitch and I went to wrestle some little fat kid with a bunch of acne on his face, because you know he looked like an easy opponent to beat, but oh boy was I wrong. I'm not a wrestler, but I have a fairly good physique, a bodybuilder physique, right? And people will assume that I'm a good fighter. That's one of the big perks of lifting. People will just assume you know how to fight, which is not true. I do know how to fight Muay Thai and boxing, but I do not know what the fuck to do on the ground. I'm just completely clueless there. But I'm definitely going to take action and resolve it and get better. Anyway, if you do not know how to fight, you will be terribly fucked, because then you're relying on someone else, maybe i.e. the police, or calling a mate, or you might even disappoint him. If you don't know how to fight, let's say for instance, some guy touches your girl or some shit in a very inappropriate way, and you know, she's uncomfortable, I do not advise getting into stupid fights, especially for a girl, when the guy's like a 6'5" black dude. I'm not talking about that. But if it's a viable opponent and he's actually being violent, and there is a scenario that you could win that fight, I suggest you do it, because sometimes you can't avoid it. Especially when you can't avoid it. That's the situations I'm talking about. Especially when you live in these, like, when you go to the more urban side of like maybe Melbourne, where I live, there will be a lot of junkies, if you know what I mean. They'll start yelling. They're obviously harmless. Or maybe you head down to Dandenong and you want to be a little trivious. Some guy might want to fight you. You just never know. One day you might get in a fucking thing with your brother and you need to throw some motherfucking fists. Every man should know how to fight. And if you do not know how to fight, here's a step-by-step guide that I want to tell you on how to fight. So first, get yourself a boxing bag. A boxing bag is super duper motherfucking cheap, right? Go on Facebook Marketplace and search up just boxing bag or Bob boxing bag. Any boxing bag will do. If you have a stand or if you have something to hang it on your garage roof, great, do that. If not, get one of those fucking stands and hang it on it, or get like a freestanding one with like the ones you fill with water and sand and just kick on that or fight on that. I recommend watching a lot of MMA fights just to see how the fighters fight, not to procrastinate and waste time. Maybe when you're like eating food or some shit, or doing something that you're able to kind of be distracted and, you know, productive. Not like while fucking working or some shit. Like I personally do it at school because I have nothing better to do. I'll watch a few MMA fights, see how they do it, see how, you know, they're explosive and they move around fast and they do shit. Number 3, practice daily, every day, or at least 5 to 6 days a week. And that's not really a lot, because every person should be doing minimum 1 hour of exercise a day, or 20 minutes of cardio each day minimum, and that's high intensity shit. I'm not talking about walking. If that's walking and shit, you have to be doing like 10,000 steps a day. If you want to learn how to box very well or Muay Thai very well, you're gonna have to also stretch every day. And don't see that as a kind of thing to be scared of, because stretching is very good for you as well. Have you seen these unflexible people, these unathletic people who are like, oh, I can't squat ass to grass? It's honestly disappointing. I can't trust them. I can't be friends with them. So do stretching, maybe 20 minutes each night. My favorite stretches are these: frog split, fucking actual splits, and you know the one where you touch your toes with your hamstrings? So what? No, you touch the floor with your toes, stretching out your hamstring, the super painful one. Also, some good ones are quad stretches and side, like kind of leg lateral raises, if you know what I mean, like lateral raises but for your legs. Those are my favorite stretches you can do for especially kicking and Muay Thai and kickboxing. Shoulder stretches will include like resistance bands, grab them and fucking do this, do some dislocations. Those will definitely help your shoulder joints be warmed up for the fighting. And most importantly, focus on these couple of things. Speed is number one. It doesn't matter exactly how super powerful you hit, because I could get a 10-meter run up, look really obvious, and throw a really hard punch. If I can only throw that one punch, I might miss. So like that Andrew Tate video, this, your right hand or your left hand, depending on which stance you take, is gonna be your rifle, and this is gonna be your sniper. You're gonna have to hit super hard with this, and you don't want to miss. You know, best case scenario, you do not want to miss, and worst case scenario, you obviously do miss. It'll be really fucked. This is your rifle. Boom, boom, boom. You still want to be as accurate as you can, but sometimes you might miss. That's fine. So train every day. I recommend at least once per week for a disciplinary thing. Do 500 kicks in one workout. I did it and it took me 40 minutes for my first time, and it's a fun challenge because all you're doing is kicking. Number two thing you want to focus on, well, I mentioned speed before, but also power combined with speed. You do not want to reduce the quality of your punches. You want to increase the quality, increase the speed at the same time too, because once you get fast and strong, oh my gosh, will that be good. What can you do to focus on this? Obviously hit with heavy bags, and yeah, so fast but not low quality. Try landing with one knuckle if you really want to knock out. If you want to do a knockout, hit to the chin, because the chin, it hits super hard, the brain will move back and forth in the skull, and the brain will hit the skull, and that's how you get knocked out. So if you want to throw a really powerful punch to knock someone out, do it in the fucking chin. And lastly, practice every day. I mentioned it before obviously, but this really matters a lot. The discipline of always being combat ready is a big discipline, and it is really hard. Even if you don't feel like training, go train for 5 minutes. Trust me, you never regret training. See you later.